Stargaze. That term has a very specific meaning, which is to look at or observe stars in the sky. But it's not as complicated as you would think. People have been looking up at the sky for millennia. It helps us learn about our universe. But what if I told you that there was a hindrance to astronomical observation and a problem for all humans? And it's light. Yep. Well, we know that light is an energy that illuminates things, making it easier to see in the dark. And thanks to the technology we have today, light can be used and produced in all sorts of different ways that can help us. But light can also be harmful. Too much light can cause a problem for our eyesight. And um, that very thing is the reason why light can affect the way we see things in the sky. Light pollution has an effect on people in more ways than you'd think. That's the term that we use to refer to how artificial light from cars, skyscrapers, and street lamps can affect nature because they're produced in large amounts. On the authority of the amateur astronomer John Bortle, a scientist who created the way that we monitor how dark the sky can be, it's true that a modest amount of light pollution degrades diffuse objects such as comets, nebulae, and galaxies far more than stars. It's also proven that light pollution affects the well-being of regular civilians, especially in cities. As indicated by the University of Arkansas for Medical Science, extreme exposure to light at night can have an adverse effect on a person's immune and endocrine systems. And it can also cause a serious effect on someone's visual acuity. That's the way that we're able to view things and identify the things we see, according to the New Astronomy Review Journal. Light pollution can be a serious hindrance and hazard to night sky observers, civilians, and the well-being of life respectively. We'll always need light to see, but it becomes a problem when the very thing we need to see uh, interferes with how we connect with nature. Well, like I identified before, light pollution affects the way we view the sky. Well, a serious problem for stargazers and astronomers. According to the World Atlas of Night Sky Brightness, the World Atlas 2015 recorded the average night sky brightness to be 15,500 candelas per square kilometer in Baltimore. A candela is the unit of measurement we use to ascertain luminous intensity. To give some perspective, a compact fluorescent bulb is 135 candelas, so you can have an idea on how bright the sky would be on a square kilometer of land. Now we have an idea on, what light pollution is. Let's talk about what it does. Amateur astronomer Phil Plait states in the Scientific American News Journal that even large celestial objects, like the Milky Way galaxy, could be invisible because of light pollution. The combined radiance of 100 billion stars can be dimmed to near nothingness by bright street lamps and storefronts. I mean, come on. When was the last time that you've seen the Milky Way galaxy in real life? It's not easy to see. It's actually very rare. Most times people have probably seen the Milky Way galaxy is in pictures taken by enhanced telescopes because we're practically surrounded by intoxicating light all the time. And this is a problem, not only for astronomers, but for any stargazer who simply wants to enjoy nature. Stargazing is a great way to spend time outdoors, and it's something that people do a lot. If light is something that is preventing people from doing that, it's definitely a serious issue. But be aware, light pollution doesn't only inhibit people from doing their job, it also has an effect on animals. Sea turtles are creatures that can live for a long time, and they're also known for being on the planet for a long time as well, thanks to their consistent life cycle. Adult sea turtles go on land, bury their eggs in the sand, and when the eggs hatch, the baby sea turtles follow the light from the moon and stars reflected onto the water, and they just continue with their lives. But what light pollution does here is that it tricks the baby sea turtles into following the lights from streets and roads, rather than the shimmer of the ocean surface, according to the International Dark Sky Association. Birds can be affected by light pollution too. Birds in the city can become active earlier than birds in natural areas, according to National Geographic. But it becomes even more of a threat when birds enter their migrating season. They rely on the moon and stars so they can head to their designated areas. But light pollution, especially in cities, can cause them to become confused and crash into the buildings of cities that produce light, causing them to be severely and even fatally injured. We probably don't think about this as much as we should, because light pollution can affect animals as well as humans. But Just like animals, human health is also affected by light pollution's incidents. You probably have been told, at least once in your life, that looking at an artificial light for a long time is a bad thing. I mean, who hasn't heard something along the lines of, staring too much at electronics can hurt your eyesight, but exposure to too much electric light can have a larger effect on a human's health than what meets the eye. Pun not intended. According to the IDA, a little over of 80% of humans who live on Earth are in places containing lots of light pollution. Cities are known to produce so much sky glow that the ability to view any celestial object is scarce. This is also an issue since so much light is produced during nighttime, and that can suppress melatonin, a hormone that transmits circadian information throughout the entire body and makes sure the circadian rhythm goes smoothly, according to the International Journal of Molecular Sciences. The circadian rhythm is the biological cycle that orchestrates sleeping and wakefulness in organisms, and since light pollution interferes with the circadian rhythm, electric lights can cause a problem for one's health. Note that the blue wavelengths within electric light sources have an effect on the way people are able to see. But that's not only it. People can suffer from light pollution simply because it just messes with the way they see things. But a lot of pedestrians and drivers on the roads can be affected by the LED lights from street lamps. A lot of drivers and pedestrians have been temporarily blinded by poorly designed lights and have suffered from tragic accidents, as stated by the IDA. And some people who live in cities have been known to get cancer, according to the Asian Pacific Journal of Cancer Prevention. While it isn't common, it's still a problem. And I think it's safe to say that electric lights are a serious risk to wildlife and humans. Light pollution has been a problem for animals, stargazers, and especially metropolitan civilians. Anywhere you find a city, you're bound to find light pollution. But the good news is, light pollution isn't inevitable. Drivers or people surrounded by electronics can wear anti-glare nighttime glasses or anti-blue light glasses, which filter the glare or blue wavelengths of light from electric devices. So, it makes driving and walking on the street or using electronic devices much safer. Cities can also arrange lights out programs, which can protect birds, drivers, and nighttime workers. And astronomers can go into open fields, far away from cities, to survey the sky. Observatories tend to be built from cities for this reason and up on hills because light pollution is a problem. With these strategies, we can work to protect human well-being, wildlife, and anyone who simply wants to enjoy what nature does for us. Thanks for listening.